That's all coming up this morning for you on Daybreak. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on this Monday, September 16th. I'm Joe Morano. Lauren has the morning off, but we are here to help set you off on a brand new week. Meteorologist Elisa Raffa is also here to bring us that nice summer forecast, right?
New week, same story.
It is, yeah, and this weekend was pretty nice out there for a few of those days, and then things started to ramp up again with the heat, and it's going to stick around for a little while, right?
Yeah, again, I'm pretty much like last week, right, where we had a couple of days in the 90s and then a little bit of a break at the end of the week when the front comes through.
And we're just getting to a point, this is very above average, right?
We're running almost 8 degrees above average for the month so far, one of the warmest starts to September that Springfield has seen in really quite some time. Starting out in the upper 60s this morning with some mostly clear skies in Springfield. Another, again, warm and sticky start with the dew points also in the 60s. South winds at 6 miles per hour. Dry roads across the Ozarks with some mostly clear conditions. Temperatures pretty warm. Starting out much above average at 68 degrees in Springfield, 67 at Lake of the Ozarks, and a pair of 6s in Branson. Dew points are right behind those temperatures in the middle and upper 60s, so it is a pretty sticky start out there again this morning. It is warm and humid. Dry roads as we head out the door this morning. Dry roads by the evening commute as well. We'll keep the sunshine. Again, things just pretty steamy. 94 degrees feels like 100 by dismissals, to make sure the kiddos have lightweight, light-colored clothes. We're looking at that heat lingering through much of the work week. One cold front will help bring us some relief by the weekend. Your full forecast is up in 10 minutes.
Thank you, Elisa. 2020 is an important year for politics, but it's also important for the census, which is currently canvassing addresses for you. That means you may see people out in neighborhoods to make sure they have information correct for when number counting starts. Canvassers will be wearing ID badges with laptops and work bags, and everything will have a U.S. Census label visible. Yet our regional bureau assistant here says that the process is more detailed than just counting people across the U.S.
There's so much riding on a complete and accurate census count. Congressional representation, we've got about $675 billion on the table that is at risk of being lost if we don't get an accurate count of the population. So there's all sorts of federal programs that are impacted. There are health care programs, child care programs, schools, and businesses that rely on the data.
And of course, counting for the census will begin early next year. Studies are showing that veterans have higher suicide rates than the general population. September is Suicide Prevention Month, and the Veterans Health Administration provides several services for suicidal vets online and in person. We spoke to a local Army veteran, John Salcido, who said he was suffering for a long time, spending years just trying to get better.
It's a lot of hard work, and it's not very fun, but if you put in the hard work and you commit to it and you take the advice of the doctors and really commit yourself, it pays off big dividends in the long run.
If you need access to online resources, you can find other veteran stories, access to therapies, education, and more when you find this story over on ozarksfirst.com. Moving around the Ozarks now for you, the Least of These organization recently kicked off Hunger Action Month with a celebration of the work being done to fight hunger right here in the Ozarks. Hannah Zettel joins us this morning to help explain what Hunger Action Month is all about.
Well, that's right. Last year, Least of These served over 700,000 pounds of food to Christian County families. And this year, that number is on track to reach 1 million pounds of food served. Hunger Action Month was started by Feeding America over 4 years ago and challenges over 200 food pantries across the nation to reach a goal of 40,000 actions. The campaign focuses heavily on getting involvement up on social media. Least of These, located in Ozark, is the only full-service food pantry serving nearly 850 Christian County families on average every month. Director of Development Christy Carter explains the group purchases $10 worth of food for every $1 donated.
We are so blessed to be in such an amazing community. All of our donations, all of our funding come from individuals, churches, businesses, organizations, and grantors. So we receive no government funding.
Least of these currently serves about 840 Christian County families each month, providing them access to aisles of food to take. But with the upcoming holiday season, that number will spike up to about 1,000 families receiving that assistance.
All right, Hannah Zettel reporting this morning. We move now to a local spotlight. The Seymour Apple Fest was held over the weekend, where people could come out and celebrate the incoming fall season with plenty of music and crafts. And our photojournalist, Mike Pitts, met Sam Culp, who has made a hobby out of whittling. He tells us this morning why community festivals like these hold such big importance.
I started just generally whittling when I was probably about 5 or 6 years old. I actually stole the pocket knife from my grandmother and felt bad, so I had to give it back. but she gave it back to me, and I learned how to sharpen it, and I learned how to make things. I started making little boats to race in the ditch, you know, when it rained. This I make spoons out of. It starts like this. Starts as a piece of firewood, basically, and then I shape out the basic shape of a spoon. And then I have a curved knife that I just scoop out the middle of that with, and then a flat knife that I smooth it out with. I do spoons, walking sticks, I do chessboard, magnets, hair sticks. I carve portraits. You don't want it to people to stop doing it. It's good to work with your hands. Now, not everybody can demonstrate like I can. I don't need power, I don't need electricity. You get to see how they do it, and it might even inspire somebody to decide to give it a try.
We're starting out with some dry roads across the Ozarks this morning. It is warm as that sun starts to come up. Temperatures are already around 70 degrees. It's going to be another hot and humid day today. Some record highs are in jeopardy. Your forecast is up next.
From Color 10 Ozarks First, Lauren Barnes, Joe Morano, and weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa. This is Color 10 News Daybreak. And now weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa.
It was another hot day across the Ozarks yesterday. Temperatures in the low to middle 90s again. 94 was that high in Springfield, much above the average of 81, and just 4 degrees shy of that record again. 98 was the record from 1893. The month is still sizzling. We've had 14 of our first 15 days in the month, all above average. The month is running almost 8 degrees warm in the first 2 weeks, one of the warmest starts that we've had to September in quite a while. We've got some mostly clear skies out there this morning at 68 degrees on south and southeast winds and pretty sticky dew points. Temperatures are near 70 degrees in a lot of spots at 68 in Springfield, 71 in Monette, and 69 in Fort Leonard Wood. Dew points are in the middle and upper 60s, which tells us that it is, again, pretty humid out there to start. Now, we're going to keep the heat and humidity as this summertime dome of high pressure heat and humidity is in place right across the Ozarks, and it's not going to get chipped away until this low gets here, and that's going to take all week, so no real change until the weekend. We also, by the way, have Hurricane Umberto off of the Carolina coast there. That will head out to sea. It brings them rip currents, though, and some coastal erosion. Again, high pressure keeping us pretty quiet. So we're looking at some mostly sunny skies, hot and humid. Temperatures in the lower 90s feel much closer to 100 degrees. We'll have quiet conditions on Futurecast, just the sunshine with some low to middle 90s. Temperatures around 70 degrees on the overnight tonight, staying pretty warm. And then by tomorrow, temperatures in the low to middle 90s again. A quiet Futurecast will just keep some sunshine. That heat index gets close to 100 today and tomorrow as that summertime feel hangs around. We'll keep that summer feel as long as that high pressure is there, and it's there through most of the work week. It doesn't get chipped away by that big low and a cold front coming through not until the weekend. Maybe a couple of storms on Friday. Healthier rain chances this weekend. So the summer heat lingers with some lower 90s through Thursday. We could hit some record highs today and Wednesday. And then we're looking at that heat starting to get trimmed back as we head into the weekend as those storm chances become healthier. 94 degrees today, feels closer to 100, mostly sunny, hot, and humid. I'm forecasting 94, and the record is 95 from 1980, so we'll at least get really closer than we've been the last couple of days. 70 degrees overnight. We'll stay warm and muggy. 93 tomorrow, hot and humid again on some southerly winds. The summertime heat hangs around through Thursday, mostly sunny, hot, and humid. Lower 90s, again, feel pretty steamy. Heat starts to get chipped away on Friday. An isolated storm or two possible as that front gets close. The storm chances get healthier on Saturday and Sunday, and that heat will take a bigger hit. Temperatures in the low to middle 80s will be a little bit closer to average.
All right, it is that time on a Monday where we start off the week guessing some birthdays of the celebrities. Go ahead, play along at home, try and guess this correct age. What do we got leading off here right now?
Hi, it's Nick Jonas.
I knew you'd love that one.
I do.
They just played in St. Louis this weekend.
They did just play in St. Louis. I know how old he is.
Okay, then I'll guess.
Hannah, what you got?
26.
30.
27. Happy birthday.
Is she a personal friend, you think?
I am,
Yeah.
That's
actually.
what it sounds like right now.
Pretty much.
All right, who else do we have up here right now that we got to guess? Amy Poehler, very funny actress, of course, from SNL and plenty of movies. Also got the Second City credit there. Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Very nice. How old do you think about her, though?
She's older than Nick.
Probably. I'm going to go 48.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
All right, I'll take it.
My goodness.
That's a good way to start a week. 2 correct birthday guesses, right?
Congrats, guys.
Not bad.
Must be nice.
It's all right, Ann. Plenty of time this week, Hannah. The week is young. We also want to give a shout out to our viewers, though. Bethany Bratow, and then Whitney Carter and Amanda Turner, all celebrating birthdays. If you want your special day announced, send it on over to us, birthdays@color10.com. Stay with us. Sports is up next. Don't forget to find us on social media during the break and give us a like and follow.
Now, sports on Color 10 News.
Over the years, this Chiefs-Raiders rivalry has been owned by these guys. Kansas City has won 10 of the past 12, and the Chiefs haven't lost to the Raiders on a Sunday since 2012. Fun fact right there. Likely the last game also ever played with baseball dirt on the field right now. As we take a look, Derek Carr connects with Tyrell Williams in the back of the end zone for a 4-yard score. 10-0 Oakland after one. Oh boy, but Pat Mahomes owns the second quarter, hits DeMarcus Robinson down the field. That's a 44-yard touchdown. Chiefs get on the board, and Mahomes was just getting started. Same quarter, finds the rookie Mecole Hardman stepping in for the injured Tyreek Hill. That's a 42-yard touchdown grab. And then before the half, Mahomes over to Travis Kelce. Kelce gets on the board with the score, and we're still in the second quarter as Robinson will score once more. Mahomes throws for 278 yards and 4 touchdowns in one quarter alone. Chiefs go on to win it 28-10, your final score there. We do have a Major League Baseball scoreboard to get to as well. The Brewers top the Cardinals, salvage one game out of that 3-game series. 7-6 your final score there, despite Harrison Bader hitting 2 home runs. And the Astros sweep the Kansas City Royals 12-3. Successful weekend in KC for Houston. Isn't that right, Elisa Rafa?
Yes. I laughed when you said that they were going into the end zone. Because, like, nope, that's home plate. That's, you know, you're going into the infield over there.
The infield dirt, always very entertaining to see. But that will be the last one for a while because the Raiders are expected to move.
Right.
And then you won't have teams playing in baseball fields much anymore.
That is crazy.
Yeah, not bad. Also, baseball weather outside right now. Not so much the football weather we always talk about, right?
No, still pretty steamy. If you're getting the kiddos dressed, make sure they wear lightweight and light-colored clothes, especially if they've got anything going on outside after school, because it's going to be pretty hot. Starting out at 68 degrees right now in Springfield. That sun's starting to come up with some clear skies. We'll have some clear skies on your way to work and school. Roads are dry and just warm out there, guys. It's 72 degrees in Joplin, 71 in Monette, and 66 degrees in Branson. Dew points are in the low to middle 60s. Some dew points getting into the upper 60s. So it's a pretty sticky start out there this morning. If you're going to take the pup for a walk, make sure the both of you are hydrated. We'll have some dry conditions and sunshine, just pretty hot. If you want to go for a run, go early because the heat and humidity will put you at a greater risk for dehydration later on today. So just please keep that in mind. Hour by hour, Futurecast is pretty quiet. We'll have sunshine, low to middle 90s. 70 degrees overnight tonight, another warm one, and then by tomorrow, hot again, low to middle 90s across the Ozarks. With the humidity, that real feel gets closer to 100 today and tomorrow, so another couple steamy days across the Ozarks. If you want to do some late summer fishing, you'll have dry conditions through the work week, even into Friday. Could be an isolated storm or two. You'll have to keep an eye out for that. Just hot again this weekend. Make sure you've got water with you on the boat. Temperatures in the lower 90s linger through Thursday. We could actually hit some record highs today and Wednesday. We'll have that heat start to get chipped away by the weekend as those storm chances become healthier. So sunshine through Thursday. A couple more clouds on Friday with an isolated storm or two, still much above average in the upper 80s. Then we get a little bit closer to average Saturday and Sunday. The heat starts to get chipped away a little bit more as those storm chances get healthier as that front comes through. Average for this time of year is 81 degrees. So again, above average all week there.
All right, thank you, Elisa. Still ahead for you. CAFOs have been an important topic across the state. We'll explain more about concentrated animal feeding operations from a political perspective when we continue here on Daybreak. Welcome back, everyone. You may have heard people talking a lot about CAFOs lately, with multiple counties, including some in the Ozarks, rushing last month to pass legislation banning these large farms from their communities. This morning, Color 10's Madison Heaver sat down with an Ozarks lawmaker to get more perspective for us.
Representative Warren Love, thank you for doing this interview. We're kind of talking about everything that's going on with CAFOs. Can you kind of just tell me what CAFOs are to begin with?
Well, CAFO stands for Concentrated Animal Feeding Operation, and basically it's an acronym, and it's when you put a fairly large amount of animals in a rather small area that's in there for several months throughout the year, and that's the term CAFO. It's not a bad name. In a way, they've gotten, I guess, mislabeled and termed as a bad. So in a lot of cases, people don't even want one, you know. Well, at least they are regulated, and they're regulated by the state. And it's been my experience they're very heavily regulated.
Now, there's some controversy over it, kind of all around the state about these CAFOs. What exactly is going on?
I think it's a misconception of how modern-day production of meat, milk, and eggs is done. So we don't see the production of meat, milk, and eggs out on the dirt like we used to, because most pork and poultry are raised in totally environmentally controlled buildings. The manure is completely contained instead of just running down the creeks. A lot more pollution happened in the 50s and 60s than they do currently.
And you just mentioned manure pollution, and that's something that a lot of people are concerned about. You know, all across the state, there have been counties that have been trying to implement health ordinances to keep these CAFOs from happening in their county. And then there was one in your area that you cover. How does that feel to know that some people just really either oppose these, which would these health ordinances, which would agree with you, and then some that agree with them and they want them to happen?
I wish so bad that the producers of meat, milk, and eggs could do a better job of educating the consumer, because the consumer has this idea that it was better back in the old days when everything was raised outdoors and there was no lagoons, no control of any manure, but they still think that was better. However, I think we've done a poor job of educating our consumers is that modern day production of meat, milk, and eggs has so much more control through the Department of Natural Resources. Now, the question is, well, can the county do a stronger? And I think we have to realize there has to be a limitation, and we have to depend on the state. And if the state rules and regulations need changing, then we need to change them, not let a county commission or a county health board who really doesn't have the trained personnel to do it. And many times what they try to do is completely keep them out. They just don't want them.
And you voted originally for the bill.
I did, and you know, this has been a priority of mine ever since this is the real reason I even ran for this office, was to clarify.
There was a law going into effect on August 28th that obviously didn't go into effect then. And can you kind of give us maybe an update on what exactly is going on with that?
I wished I really knew. As far as I can tell, they just got it delayed. I talked to the executive director with the Missouri pork producers just a few days ago, and he thinks that everything's going to be okay and it's going to go forward.
And so you're hoping that soon that the law will go into effect?
I do. I sincerely do, and I hopefully then that will attract. We have really potential in Missouri. We have a lot of wide open spaces. Now, a lot of people say, well, I don't want a CAFO, you know, within even 5 miles of me. If you don't want to smell any manure, you better move back to the city, because we're going to raise meat, milk, and eggs in Missouri.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Representative Love, for sitting down with us and talking about these CAFOs.
Okay.
Madison Heaver reporting for you this morning. There will be a vote on this and a hearing on the lawsuit later up this week. Still ahead, the top 3 stories you need to know if you're just waking up, plus Elisa Raffa joins us with a check of your forecast as we head out the door.
Good morning, my name is Ambrose, and I go to Roundtree Elementary School. Today is September 16th, and the lunch menu is fish sandwich, chicken tenders, french fries, fresh tomato wedges, and oranges. Bye.
Now weather with meteorologist Elisa Raffa.
Good morning. If you're just waking up with us, it's going to be hot and humid again today. That heat continues to linger this week. One cold front to track that brings us some relief, but not until the weekend. A fiery sunrise in Springfield. It is 68 degrees. Pretty colors out there. South and southeast winds at 6 miles per hour. Temperatures warm and above average. It's 70 in Monette, 68 in Harrison, 65 in Mountain Grove, and 73 in Ava. Dew points again are right behind those temperatures in the middle and upper 60s. So it's another humid and sticky start out there this morning. So at the bus stop with the kiddos, 69 degrees, hot and humid by dismissal. 94 feels closer to 100. Joe?
Your top 3 stories for your morning. 2020 is a few months away. It's an important year for the census, and the census is currently canvassing addresses. That means you may see people out in neighborhoods to make sure they have addresses and other information correct for when number counting starts. Just letting you know, though, canvassers wear ID badges, carry laptops and work bags, and everything has a United States Census seal visible. September is Suicide Prevention Month, and the Veterans Health Administration is providing several services for suicidal vets online and in person. There are several websites you can visit for veteran suicide resources. You can find other veteran stories, access to therapies, education, and understandings of mental health disorders as well when you find our extended look at this over on ozarksfirst.com. Making news nationally, Aramark maintenance workers went on strike Sunday morning at several GM plants in Michigan and Ohio. The employees are represented by United Auto Workers. More than 850 janitors are taking part in the strike, which began at midnight. The UAW says the workers have been on an extended contract for more than a year and a half and are demanding better wages, retirement, and health care. Some other stories you may have missed while you were sleeping. 4 California firefighters are being treated for injuries suffered in a suspected arson incident. The suspect is believed to be either a disgruntled former employee or former tenant of a building in the downtown area. The injured firefighters were taken to a local hospital, and no word yet on their conditions. A body was found inside the burned structure. Officials believe it may have been the person who started that fire. With oil prices rising yesterday, President Trump said he's authorized the use of oil from the nation's emergency reserve. It comes after Saturday's attack on Saudi Arabian oil facilities, disrupting the global supply of crude oil. In a series of tweets, the president said he ordered oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to be used if needed, and that he will, quote, keep sufficient to keep the markets well supplied is necessary. Let's do a market watch for you right now. Let's take a look at how things closed for you on Friday. The Nikkei up 228 points. The Dow finished up 37. Your NASDAQ finished down 17. Your futures right now, the Dow down 123 points. The NASDAQ down 58 on this Monday morning. Time for a break for us. Don't forget to subscribe to the Daybreak podcast. All the news and information you need sent right to your phone or tablet every morning, and some extended interviews from other stories that we do here at Color 10. Just find us and hit subscribe.
Now, forecast first on Color 10 News Ozarks First.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. It was hot yesterday. Temperatures in the low to middle 90s across the Ozarks. 94 degrees was that high, much above the average of 81 and not too far from the record. That record stands at 98 degrees from 1893. That record over 100 years old and just 4 degrees shy of yesterday's high. It's been a sizzling September. Of the first 15 days this month, 14 have been much above average. The month is running almost 8 degrees warm. That is incredible when you're talking about averages, when you're looking at the month as a whole. Again, 11 of 15 days have been at 90 or warmer. This is the warmest first 2 weeks of September in Springfield since at least 1990. The 7th warmest September on record so far, and because it's been so hot, it's also been so dry. Only a trace of rain from the month so far, running over 2 inches below average. A fiery sunrise in Springfield right now at 68 degrees on south and southeast winds. A warm start across the Ozarks with those temperatures up around 70 degrees this morning. Dew points right behind those temperatures in the middle and upper 60s tell us that, of course, it's another very warm and sticky start out there, and we'll keep the weather more or less the same as we had through a lot of the work week because we have this high pressure dome of heat and humidity sitting in place right over the Ozarks, and it doesn't get chipped away until this low pressure gets here, and that doesn't happen until the weekend. We also, by the way, have a hurricane, Umberto, that is off the east coast, churning up some rip currents there, but it is expected to head out to sea. High pressure keeping us quiet in the midsection of the country. Mostly sunny skies through the day today. Temperatures in the low to middle 90s, feeling much closer to 100. Futurecast again is pretty quiet, not expecting any rain, just the heat and humidity. Dropping to 70 degrees overnight tonight, more low to middle 90s tomorrow, feeling much closer to 100. We'll have 2 days, 3 days, 4 days of this heat continuing with that feels like forecast continuing to creep closer to 100. That summer ridge or that high pressure dome of heat and humidity, that is going to hang around through Thursday and then into Friday. That area of low pressure comes through with a cold front. It starts to chip away at that heat, starts to break it down a little bit more, but again, that doesn't happen until the end of the week. So we're in the lower 90s through Thursday. We could hit record highs today and we could hit record highs on Wednesday. We'll be pretty close to those records, but we're much above average through Thursday. Average is 81 degrees. Starting to chip away at the heat a little bit by Friday. Noticing that difference a little bit more on Saturday and Sunday as those storm chances become healthier. So 94 degrees today, hot and humid. It feels closer to 100. 94 is my forecast. The record is 95 from 1980, so we'll get very close to that record, if not tie it. 70 degrees overnight. It will be warm and muggy on south winds. 93 degrees tomorrow, hot and humid again on some southerly winds there. So we keep that summery stretch through Thursday, mostly sunny, hot, and humid. An isolated storm or two possible on Friday as that front starts to get a little bit closer. The storm chances get healthier on Saturday and Sunday, and that's where the heat starts to break more and more. Again, average is 81, so we get closer to that average, especially by Sunday. Temperatures in the low to middle 80s this weekend.
And coming up next, we look at your headlines, and including that University of Tennessee story that just keeps getting better with a young superfan there. Stay with us, everyone. Welcome back, everyone. Time for some headlines to talk about what is trending from over the weekend or what you may have missed that people are talking about. This one's a little bit strange, though. Talking about CNN Business saying that KFC is launching a dating simulation game called I Love You, Colonel Sanders. How do you like this, guys?
Tell me more about this.
All right, it's a video game dating simulator starring a youthful, more handsome Colonel Sanders. Still has white hair, though. All right, you start off the game as a culinary student who tries to get close to your classmate, who's the colonel. Much like a simulation game, you're forced to make decisions that can alter the course of the game, and you try and court this guy and end up with him. In between it,
chop up the chicken.
there are cooking contests and simulations and battles and things like that.
Wow.
I'm creeped out by this. I'm sorry. I think this is a little weird.
I just wanted your guys' opinions.
Cooking Mama meets The Bachelor.
What are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I don't like it.
It's a good comparison right there,
I feel like KFC is really doing a lot to revamp the Colonel. Like the commercials now, he's like young and buff, and he used to be.
Right, and then even before that, they did this trend where it was a different celebrity playing the Colonel all the time. They did that for like a year or two.
Didn't Reba do it?
Reba did it as well. A lot of people did. So, yeah, they are thinking outside the box.
Revamping the marketing here.
Thinking outside the bucket. There we go. If you like it, you can play it on September 24th. There you go. Next headline is talking about the University of Tennessee that was helpful to the child who was bullied in Florida for wearing the homemade shirt. You may have heard that they offered him a full scholarship. Do you know about this?
Oh my gosh, I did not.
All right. Anyway, we know about this. He made a homemade UT shirt, got a little bullied. The university made the shirt and produced it. That's the entire Tennessee marching band wearing it.
I saw that.
At Saturday's game right there. Fans wearing it as well. So they all wore it on Saturday, and now they're selling the shirt for $15. Proceeds go to anti-bullying campaigns.
Oh, that's great. I didn't know that.
Right. And then also they offered him a scholarship. How do you like that?
4 years of tuition, which we know is a huge chunk of change nowadays.
And a great school, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just talked about that the other day, yes. So a lot of people were wearing this. This even made an appearance on College Game Day for a little bit, the big ESPN show right there. So I like this, and it's kind of everywhere. How do you like how this thing took off?
Wow.
I love it. It is a great. It was a good design, and yeah, I mean, who's laughing now?
Exactly.
This kid is a nationwide sensation.
I think that's nice. You guys wanted me to, you know, make you feel a little old, though. When he graduates, if he goes for 4 years, he'll be a member of the class of 2032.
Oh my God.
Think about that.
Oh wow.
There you go. But hey. Congrats to you, youngster. There we go. Final headline this morning is from Car Magazine. I know you'll like this one right now. The electric Mercedes EQS. This is just a concept, but they're trying to build an all-electric Mercedes right now. How do you like the look of this thing?
Very sleek.
I like it.
Very 2030.
460 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds.
Ooh.
You like that? Top speed of 124 miles an hour. Hannah, do you drive that fast?
I do.
That's the top speed. There you go. But check this out. Also on the inside, Mercedes says it's drawing inspiration from the world of luxury yachts, speakers covered in gold, and also blue LED lights on the inside and on the grille. Yeah. And then also recyclable materials are in the leather and in the roof of the car.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So no, trying to be more plastic free.
Yes, ocean waste plastic in the roof liner.
That is great. I love this. Because the point of the electric cars is to be more clean and more energy efficient and things like that. So to put that concept not only in the fuel, but also in the car, I like that.
But also the gold radio.
Gold radio is also what we're in it for as well, right?
Gold radio.
Unbelievable. Anyway, that's a look at your headlines right there. Stay with us. Daybreak in 10 is up next. The Trump administration talks about curbing gun violence across the country. Plus, this month is Hunger Action Month. We'll talk about how things are going so far with raising meals. Welcome back, everyone. Time for Daybreak in 10. We are on the air commercial-free for you right up until the end of the newscast. So let's start off by checking in with meteorologist Elisa Raffa and your forecast first.
Good morning, Joe. We're starting out with a really pretty sunrise in Springfield. It's 68 degrees on south and southeast winds at 6 miles per hour. It is 71 degrees in Monette this morning, 68 in Springfield and 66 in Branson. Another warm start, much above average, and sticky too. Dew points are also in the middle and upper 60s, which is telling us that it feels pretty humid out there this morning. Those orange colors telling us that on the Muggy Meter map. So by dismissal, a grade of an A-, 94, starts to feel closer to 100. Make sure the kids have lightweight, light-colored clothes as they head to school. We're looking at those temperatures in the low to middle 90s across the Ozarks today. 70 degrees on the overnight, and then by tomorrow, that heat and humidity continues. Some lower 90s again. The next 2 days will also keep that heat index, or that feels like, because of the humidity, close to 100 both today and tomorrow on those south winds and the increasing sticky feel. So temperatures today could be close to record. 94 is my forecast. 95 is the record from 1980. Some lower 90s through Tuesday and Wednesday. Continue to feel close to 100, mostly sunny and dry. We'll have those temperatures in the lower 90s last through Thursday, starting to chip away at that heat Friday into the weekend as those storm chances get healthier. Maybe an isolated storm on Friday. I think we should be mostly dry. Showers and storms become a little bit healthier by Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures back in the 80s. Joe?
Putting crime into focus right now for you, a Republic man is set to appear in court later this morning for a pretrial conference. Christopher Brock Manuel is charged with murder in the second degree and armed criminal action after killing a man in 2017. Bill Dazat was stabbed 11 times and later died at a hospital. He's set to appear in court at 8:30. Also due in court is a Springfield woman charged with child abuse from 2 incidents. Police say Rachel Slauson caused abusive head trauma to a minor in September 2013. Then in July of 2016, an 8-month-old child in her care was having difficulty breathing. That child also suffered a skull fracture and internal brain bleed. Slauson claimed the child was injured while in a bouncy seat. Her pretrial conference gets going at 1:30. Some political coverage for you this morning. The Trump administration is expected to announce a proposal to curb gun violence across the country as early as this coming week. This is happening on a national level as debate over gun reforms happened in Missouri. Last week, House Democrats called for an extension of the special session to take on new gun legislation they had proposed, but Governor Parson did not grant that. Despite this, the news leader reports that House Speaker Elijah Haahr commented on the topic Wednesday, saying the House Republican caucus is looking into what legislation they might bring to the table when session starts up in January. Moving on now around the Ozarks for you, the Least of These organization recently kicked off Hunger Action Month with a celebration of the work being done to fight hunger in the Ozarks. Hannah Zettel joins us this morning to help explain what Hunger Action Month is all about.
Well, that's right, Joe. Last year, Least of These served over 700,000 pounds of food to Christian County families. This year, that number is on track to reach 1 million pounds served. Hunger Action Month was started by Feeding America 40 years ago. It challenges over 200 food pantries across the nation to reach a goal of 40,000 actions. The campaign focuses heavily on getting involvement up via social media. Least of These, located in Ozark, is the only full-service food pantry serving nearly 850 Christian County families on average every month. Director of Development Christy Carter explains the group purchases $10 worth of food for every $1 donated.
Encouraging. We are so blessed to be in such an amazing community. All of our donations, all of our funding come from individuals, churches, businesses, organizations, and grantors. So we receive no government funding.
Least of These currently serves about 840 Christian County families each month, providing them access to aisles of food to take with them. But with the upcoming holiday season, that number will spike up to roughly 1,000 families receiving that assistance.
All right, Hannah Zettel reporting this morning. Studies are showing that veterans have higher suicide rates than the general population. September is Suicide Prevention Month, and the Veterans Health Administration is giving several services for veterans online and in person. We spoke to a local Army vet, John Salcido, who said he was suffering for a long time, spending years trying to get better.
It's a lot of hard work, and it's not very fun, but if you put in the hard work and you commit to it and you take the advice of the doctors and really commit yourself, it pays off big dividends in the long run.
For online resources, you can find other veteran stories, access to therapies, and more education on this topic. We've got that information when you head over to ozarksfirst.com. To some news around the region for you. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says a crash where 3 people died was caused when a man running from police crossed the median of Highway 54 south of Jefferson City. The patrol reports it happened around noon Sunday when a truck going west in the eastbound lanes hit a car head-on. Both drivers and 1 passenger were pronounced dead at the scene there. Troopers identified the driver of the truck as Demarius Rubin of Memphis, Tennessee. All lanes of traffic reopened later on Sunday afternoon. In some more local news for you, summer may be coming to an end. Still, though, plenty of fall activities that are bringing people outdoors and into the woods, like hunting, fishing, or even bird watching. A wilderness survival class in town this weekend was trying to help even the most experienced outdoorsmen, though, and having them keep in mind why they need to be prepared while outdoors.
Whether you're a hiker, backpacker, birder, hunter, whatever you do in the outdoors, this is just showing people that anything can happen to anybody at any time. Even if you are Jeremiah Johnson or Bear Grylls, you could be injured or lost in the woods.
An important tip that Don Brink reiterated to us was to always let someone else know where you'll be and share your itineraries with them. Let's take a look now at what's up for you on CBS This Morning.
I'm Anthony Mason. Coming up, Edward Snowden. In an American TV exclusive, the man who leaked NSA secrets talks about his life 6 years later. That's coming up on CBS This Morning.
And a big Google trend happening right now that you may be hearing about later on today is about Purdue Pharma filing for bankruptcy yesterday. Drug company there saying that they're settling litigation with numerous states and governments that say the company fueled the opioid crisis. So, of course, the Sackler family is Purdue Pharma's owner, says they're working to a global solution for that matter, and they've offered nearly $5 billion and part of future revenue from its drug sales. So that's a big trend happening right now. And then always on a Monday during this time of year, you know, football season's always a big trend, and it's good.
Oh, yeah, always the Monday morning after, right?
Good when the Chiefs do well, right? So there you go. Chiefs won against the Oakland Raiders to improve to 2-0 on the year. So very good there.
Very cool. And it was a big win, too, right? Wasn't the score like 28-10?
28-10, got that win. And so they move on to the next week. And we move on to baseball-like weather, if you're a sports fan out there, right?
Yeah, it's still pretty hot. Another week of sizzling September is what we keep calling it. 94 degrees by dismissal. Mostly sunny, hot, and humid. It feels closer to 100. We'll have the sunshine and the heat continue through Thursday. Lower 90s daily. We could actually see some record highs fall this week, Joe. Today and Wednesday.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for starting off your week with us here on Daybreak. Enjoy that sunrise this morning, everyone. We'll see you back here soon.